We are now just a little over 2 weeks away from the 2025 NBA draft, and with the current financial restrictions imposed by the collective bargaining agreement, a flurry of trades is expected to take place across the league. These limitations have forced many teams to reconsider their rosters and salary structures, and Boston Celtics find themselves right in the middle of this complex situation. Today, the focus is on Jrue Holiday, a two-time NBA champion whose future with the Celtics is under intense scrutiny. An NBA insider has shed light on Boston's perspective regarding a potential trade involving Holiday and has linked him to a new team that could be the next destination for the veteran guard. The Celtics, known for their competitive ambition, are currently facing some tough financial realities. The luxury tax penalties they are dealing with have become unsustainable, especially considering that these tax payments are actually higher than the salary they are paying their roster players. This creates a pressing need to move off a significant contract or two during the offseason, and Jrue Holiday's contract makes him the prime candidate for such a move. This is not exactly a surprise for Celtics fans who have been aware of the financial constraints all season long. The burden of the luxury tax, combined with a roster that is still without the full contribution of Jason Tatum due to his recovery from a torn Achilles tendon, means the team has to be strategic about how to navigate the next steps while remaining competitive. Looking at the list of players who could be moved, the Celtics have some difficult decisions to make. Trading Jaylen Brown, for example, would signify a major shift, essentially a rebuild or reboot. Brown is not only a cornerstone of the franchise, but also has a massive contract worth more than $50 million per year. Letting him go would signal a new era for Boston, one focused on acquiring younger talent and reshaping the core. However, such a move is not something to be taken lightly, given his impact on both ends of the floor and his status as an all-NBA level player. Derek White, on the other hand, appears to be a non-starter for trade talks. Despite the constraints, moving White would be considered a major mistake by most, especially given the value he provides relative to his contract, which many regard as one of the best bargains in the league. At 29 years old, White combines experience, production, and a reasonable salary, making him a valuable asset to keep around for the Celtics' pursuit of another championship. Chris Porzingis presents a different kind of opportunity. While there is certainly value in trading his expiring contract worth around $30 million, Boston would need to weigh the cost of losing a big man with his unique skill set against the financial flexibility gained. Porzingis has shown me flashes of what he can bring to a contending team, and unloading his contract could open space for the Celtics to maneuver in free agency or future trades. Returning to Jrue Holiday, the general consensus among insiders is that if the Celtics are to trade anyone, it would most likely be him. Holiday still offers tremendous value as a defensive stalwart and a steady veteran presence who rarely makes mistakes on the court. His leadership and experience have been invaluable to many younger contending teams looking to add a seasoned voice in the locker room and on the floor. At the same time, his age and the financial implications of his contract make his trade the most plausible and beneficial option for Boston's front office. The decision to move Holiday is a delicate balancing act. On one hand, his contributions last season were crucial to Boston capturing their first championship in 15 years. He was a key factor on both ends, knocking down clutch three-pointers, especially from the corners where his shooting percentage hovered around 60%. On the other hand, this past season revealed some regression in his performance and efficiency. The wear and tear of a lengthy NBA career have caught up with him, and his impact in the postseason was noticeably diminished compared to previous years. Financially, the Celtics face an uphill battle. Holiday's contract, which pays him according to his age in millions, is increasingly challenging to justify given the team's current roster construction and aspirations. Reports suggest that Boston might even have to include draft capital in any trade package involving Holiday, which underscores just how difficult it is to move his salary while still getting fair value in return. Attaching first-round picks may be necessary to entice other teams to take on his deal and provide Boston with the assets it needs to rebuild or reload. Interest in Holiday appears to be coming from several playoff-caliber teams, each with their own motivations The Dallas Mavericks, for example, could view him as a valuable addition to bolster their backcourt depth while Kyrie Irving recovers. With Kyrie and Anthony Davis leading their roster and the recent acquisition of Cooper Flagg, the Mavericks have assembled a core that could benefit from Holiday's experience handling the ball and providing a calm presence under pressure. Los Angeles Clippers also make sense as a potential destination. With a roster that includes James Harden, who often handles the ball late in games, adding a player like Holiday could provide the team with a more reliable secondary playmaker, who rarely makes poor decisions. The Clippers' need for veteran leadership and championship experience makes Holiday an attractive option to strengthen their chances in the playoffs. Houston Rockets represent another interesting case. As a team with a very young roster, mostly 25 years old or younger, the Rockets could greatly benefit from adding a player with Holiday's championship pedigree and savvy. His presence could help guide the developing players through the rigors of a long season and potentially push the team closer to contending status in the Western Conference. Similarly, the Orlando Magic fit the profile of a young team that might seek to acquire a veteran like Holiday. Their roster is filled with youthful players still gaining experience, and the infusion of leadership could accelerate their growth. With key players like Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner recovering from injuries and still very young, Holiday's steadying influence could be crucial. The Magic have several young guards who could learn from him, making this a trade that could benefit both parties in different ways. A recent trade proposal involving the Celtics, Jazz, and Magic highlights these possibilities. In this three-team deal, Boston would receive Jordan Clarkson from Utah and Wendell Carter Jr., the center from Orlando. The Magic would acquire Drew Holiday, along with a first-round pick from Boston, and Utah would get Cavius Cousins-Pope and 3 second-round picks from Orlando. At first glance, this might seem complex, but it offers clear advantages for each team involved. For Boston, the appeal lies in shedding some salary, reducing payroll by around $7 million, and taking on a more manageable contract. In Clarkson, who could be moved before luxury tax penalties kick in next season, adding Wendell Carter Jr. brings a versatile big man who offers rim protection, mobility, passing, and shooting, a player often compared to Al Horford in his prime. This move would give Boston a long-term piece to build around while providing financial flexibility down the line. Utah's motivation revolves around clearing Jordan Clarkson's contract while gaining a better player in Cavius Cousins-Pope and acquiring 3 additional draft picks, which fit perfectly with the Jazz's long-term rebuilding strategy. The presence of draft assets is especially appealing to a front office known for savvy trades and roster construction. For Orlando, acquiring Drew Holiday is a chance to add a proven winner and steady veteran presence to a young and promising roster. Although it may seem like an overpay to some, the Magic would be swapping out KCP, who has not met expectations and carries a hefty salary, for a player who brings championship experience and leadership. While they give up a solid young big man in Wendell Carter Jr., their front court logjam and the return of injured players might allow them to absorb that loss without significantly hurting in their rotation. This proposed trade opens the door to many interesting questions about team strategies and future outlooks. Would the Celtics be willing to part with a first-round pick to move Holiday and gain the flexibility to chase other roster improvements? Would the Magic be ready to invest in a veteran like Holiday to accelerate their rebuild? And how would the Jazz integrate the new pieces while maintaining their focus on developing young talent in a league where financial decisions can be just as impactful as on-court performance? Trades like these highlight the delicate balance teams must strike between competitiveness and sustainability. For the Celtics, the choice to trade Holiday represents a strategic move to keep their championship window open while managing the financial realities that come with building a contender in today's NBA. As these rumors swirl and the draft approaches, all eyes will be on how the Celtics navigate this offseason. Their decisions will not only shape the immediate future of the franchise, but also set the tone for the coming years. Fans and analysts alike will be watching closely to see if Drew Holiday finds a new home and what that means for Boston's chances next season. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA world, Jaylen Brown has reportedly informed the Boston Celtics of his decision to leave the team. News that comes on the heels of whispers linking his name to a potential blockbuster trade for Milwaukee Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. While no official confirmation has been made by either franchise, league insiders are abuzz with speculation that Brown's departure may be directly tied to internal discussions about using him as a centerpiece in a trade package to lure Giannis to Boston. Sources close to the situation suggest that Brown, a key figure in Boston's recent postseason success and a vital part of the team's long-term vision, felt blindsided by the possibility of being used as a trade chip, especially after emerging as a finals MVP contender and a cornerstone of the Celtics' identity. Though trade talks between Boston and Milwaukee haven't been publicly acknowledged, the timing of Brown's announcement has raised eyebrows. The All-Star guard forward, known for his loyalty and leadership, has previously expressed his commitment to building something lasting in Boston. However, his sudden decision to part ways with the team has fueled speculation that internal trust may have been compromised. Some analysts view the situation as a calculated leak, a strategic play either from Brown's camp or from rival executives to test the waters and apply pressure. Others believe it could be the early stages of a dramatic off-season shakeup that could redefine the NBA's power dynamics. As it stands, Brown's future and Boston's hangs in the balance. Is this the end of an era or just the beginning of a new chapter? Either way, the rumor mill is in full swing, and all eyes are on what happens next. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.